What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic.
I'm Jammin John.
And we have yet another album review for you, and yet another one that I was looking forward to because I liked the last album. So today we are going over the latest offering from Castrator, Coronation of the Grotesque. This also comes out on the 15th of August on Dark Descent Records. This band formed in 2013 in New York City. This is their second full-length overall. I was a big fan of their debut, Defiled Oblivion. Just riffy, gnarly, old-school death metal. And I would say this band counts as a supergroup since you have members of Dracetta, Gruesome, Hypoxia, Vicious Blade, and The Breathing Process all in this band. And this is just straight-up death metal. Fiercely 90s death metal. Like, that is probably the best way to put this.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption. I hadn't listened to the last record. This is the first overall record I've heard by them, but I have seen them live. We saw them a couple years ago open up for Cattle Decap, and they were really good live. I remember that set being really fucking sweet, and I was like, all right, I need to jam them, and then I didn't, and then here we are. Fierce, riffy, brutal 90s death metal, I think, is the best way to describe this. Opens up with Fragments of Defiance, and it gets right to it. Big old thrashy riff, and again, I know we said it sounds like it comes from the 90s, but you can immediately tell both in the mix of this record and the fact that right off the bat, it sounds like old school Suffocation and Deicide.
Yeah, like a mix of the two. Like, you get some thrashy riffs, these cool turnovers, and then like just brutal chugging and big Suffocation style grooves. Like, there are these like cool, like kind of like stuttered kick grooves that, I mean, you hear across Suffocation's entire discography. Even the vocals, Clarissa's vocals have like a Frank Mullen-like quality, especially in her cadences.
Yes.
But she, layers them a little bit and adds some additional screams behind them. So you kind of get like those, I mean, they're not quite as high as Glenn Benton's, like, just devil shrieks, because few things are. But they kind of work like that. They kind of, like, change it from just, like, this brutal, guttural delivery to, like, just this very evil fucking scream. And across the board, man, riffs. Holy shit. Even down to the guitar tone. The guitar tone sounds like, again, like all these classic bands that I would compare this to. Like, we already brought up, like, two big ones here with, Deicide and Suffocation. Also, Malevolent Creation and, like, Monstrosity. And part of that is due to the production here, too. This was produced by Taylor Norberg of Deicide and Inhuman Condition, and mixed and mastered by Noah Buchanan of Nunslaughter. So you got, like, old school, kind of just, dialed in on the mixing board here. But also in, like, just the riff construction and the style. And this takes, like, a kind of a broad sweep of, like, just 90s death metal across the board. You get the thrashier stuff. You get the more, like, brutal stuff, like, along the lines of Suffocation, Baphomet, Dying Fetus. Mm-hmm. And then later on the album, you get some stuff that is decidedly a little bit more technical or kind of proggy, like later death. Like, there's definitely some later death moments on here. Mortem Apeteri, maybe I said that right, probably didn't. That song, coming off the first three tracks, which are just vicious and heavy and brutal. This one, you get in these galloping, syncopated riffs. It's, very groovy, but it also has like a little bit more of like a technical, almost kind of proggy edge. And by the time you get down to like the lead section, you notice that this is just way more melodic, but it has like a very, again, like later death sort of vibe. Like, honestly, it could have been a song that was like left off of Gruesome's last album.
And the lead work too. So the first couple songs we were noticing that it had a very Terrence Hobb sort of vibe to it. Just dive bombs and squealies and kind of noodles. But as the record goes on, pretty much from Covenant of Deceit all the way to the end of the record, the leads really open up. They get a lot more melodic. You get some harmonies going on. Blood Binds Curse, I think, has one of the most intricate melodic leads on the whole record, which is pretty cool. It was just good to see it open up, because initially I was like, well, okay, I've heard these leads before, but as the record goes on, it gets more technical and it gets more dynamic, and the lead work really shines.
Yeah, and like stylistic shifts in there too. Like, you get stuff that is, again, like very like later death. The lead that shows up on Remnants of Chaos, which is a particular favorite of mine because it kind of just does everything that I love that this band does. It has like an almost like James Murphy kind of quality, melodic, tuneful, very shreddy, but like there's progressive flourishes in it. But you also get ones that are just like more atmospheric, dive bomb moments. The song I Am Eunuch, not really, well, maybe him, but no, it's a little bit more along the lines of like, the dive bombs and such, but it's almost kind of like Trey-ish in terms of like it just sounds like more haunting and creepy. You also get a little bit of that on Discordant Rumination, where after you get past the very creepy sample, I don't know what's going on in that sample. It sounds like audio from a snuff film. But as soon as it comes in, you get these moaning guitars. Like, it sounds absolutely eerie, but, you know, in front of that, you have just this, you know, big, hefty, gnarly chugging. And chug is something that this album does so fucking well.
A lot of stankified moments, like the Song of the Beguiled. First of all, that one sounds a lot like Cannibal Corpse, but I think some of the stankiest moments are in that song. Big, like, descending triplet chugs.
Yeah, I think I wrote down Cannibal Castrator as the first thing, but yeah, crawling melodies, you know, it just has that kind of like vicious, like just Cannibal Corpse style, hyper aggressive drums, which the drum work on here is all, you know, all over the place. Like, really, like, she is kind of, again, much like this album, going kind of across the map of 90s death metal. Like, you get a lot of stuff that is a little bit more technical in terms of transitions. Sometimes it's just outright brutal. Sometimes it's fucking groovy as shit. Deviant Miscreant has, like, thrashy nods to it, like some good double time stuff. And then you get into, like, these almost kind of, like, hardcore-ish kind of grooves, too. So, I mean, nuance across the board. But because Psalm of the Beguiled has a very Cannibal Corpse vibe, we kind of wanted to have some fun with some song titles, just because, well, Cannibal Corpse has great song titles, but we wanted to castrate them. We easily thought that this song could have been called, I don't know, Hatchet to the Balls,
Hollowed Bags,
The Scrotum Splitter,
Blunt Force Castration,
and Entrails Ripped from an Encel's Sack.
Now, one of those is an actual Cannibal Corpse song, and if you've been paying attention and you are an actual Cannibal Corpse fan, you will know which one. We had fun nonetheless.
But all of them potentially could be. But yeah, this album doesn't mill around at all. In fact, I don't think there's any wasted time or momentum on here. You have a few spots of atmosphere in here, which, I mean, they're definitely creepy. They're definitely, like, unsettling. Covenant and Deceit in particular has some very creepy, unsettling audio. It sounded like, you know, audio that would be used in a Vatican, you know, employee training tape. Either that or Epstein Island, take your pick. But, you know, the subject matter's irrelevant.
And there is a little bit of atmospheric melody, at least, going on in I Am Eunuch. But other than that, not too much by way of atmosphere.
No, a lot of these songs just get right to it. I mean, they open up furious, and it's just off to the riff storm, which, you know, I wouldn't call this like a very like technical album, like not tech death or anything like that, but it's technical in the sense of there are a lot of transitions and lots of riff changes, but it's very fluid. Like, there aren't like any like really wonky transitions on here, and they return to like the root riffs, the ones that are like the anchor, the ones you want to hear more of. And every song has like a good chuggy section on it where it's just like a hefty, brutal death metal breakdown. Hard for me to really pick a favorite because they all do them so damn well. But yeah, it's just, you know, that pure ooga booga fucking energy that has to come out. I will always welcome that.
And it's a good variance of that, too. I thought there was a great variance between speed and groove. It didn't feel like anything was overplayed. Like, it didn't feel like I spent this whole time off to the races. Like, everything has a good kind of slow down moment or a good mid-tempo moment or a good breakdown to it, which really keeps everything from melting together, because when you have so many transitions and so many riffs going on, you're just like, all right, slow down, I can't catch it all. But they break it up enough to let your brain kind of go, oh, okay, cool, this is what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for as many riff changes as there are in here, like, I found this like very easy to listen to, and at the same time I was also finding like really cool distinct moments in like, you know, every song where there was something that reminded me of, well, I mean, a lot of it reminded me of like classic stuff. Like, honestly, this reminded me of stuff I was getting into as a teen, like, you know, that old school death metal sound. Again, the production really kind of helped that too, but like this reminded me of just like, again, going to the record store, looking on the back of the album that had the sick album art and seeing either Metal Blade, Roadrunner, or Earache on it, like, well,
pretty much.
I'm going to fucking buy it.
Yep.
And yeah, like, it has that sort of energy to it. And in case you didn't need any other like inclination that this has a fiercely old school vibe, we have an awesome Exodus cover at the end. They cover Metal Command. I mean, it's off of Bonded by Blood, therefore it's awesome.
Yes.
And they absolutely tear it up. Like, it's just a fun, riffy song. You know, I already loved it, and they didn't like try to over deathify it. Like, yeah, the vocals are definitely more harsh, but, you know, it captures the vibe. It's fun. And honestly, it's a good way to close this album in terms of like just kind of flipping the tone a little bit. Like, hey, let's get a fun, loose song, because a lot of these songs are either dark or just brutal as hell. And yeah, no, this album was just a lot of fucking fun.
Yep.
Like, you know, my only complaint, I mean, it's really not a complaint. It reminds me of like so many other bands that, you know, it's kind of an amalgamation of them, but they're bands I love. It doesn't really do anything new, but at the same time, it doesn't need to. It just needs to execute what they're doing, and they fucking do it.
Right, it wears its influences on its sleeve, but they're all really good influences, so I can't really complain. It's not like they picked a bunch of shit bands to emulate.
Yeah, no, it's like a tatted sleeve of just awesome band logos and album art in the other one.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, yeah, no, you have good fucking taste. So, yeah, I mean, I can't really think of much else to say about this other than I'm going to give it a solid 4 stars. This is just flat out enjoyable. Like, this, again, reminds me of, like, being a teenager getting into metal. Like, there's some flip the table fucking energy on here. You know, great transitions, great individual performances. Like, I love the riffs, lead work. Initially, I thought it was, you know, cool. Like, hey, I love dive bombs and squealies. That always works in death metal. But as the album went on, hearing, like, more nuanced leads and more melodic leads, like, oh, wow, holy shit.
Right.
Rhythm section fucking owns on here. Like, again, great fucking drum work. The blast patterns. I like that there are so many different ones. Lots of groove. Yeah, production's awesome. Like, yeah, this is something that feels like it should have come out in the 90s, but here we are in 2025, and it's totally welcome still. If you're a big fan of, like, literally all these old school bands we've been bringing up, like, namely Deicide, Malevolent Creation, Suffocation, Dying Fetus, Monstrosity, check this out. This is a damn good time.
There's not much I can say that hasn't already been said, but I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 stars as well. It's a very enjoyable listen, and while it's very familiar sounding, it does give off its own vibes. Like, it's not a complete rip-off of all these bands. They do have a lot going on for themselves. I like the way the songs are constructed. They do flow very well. None of the transitions seemed out of place. It seems like they played certain parts when they needed to. So, like, just when you thought it was a little too aggressive or going a little too fast and needed to slow down, boom, there it was. Or vice versa, when you thought it needed to speed up a little bit, there it was, and it was executed really well. Initially, the muddy mix kind of threw me off a little bit, but as you get more into the record, it does just have that fierce 90s sound that sounds like everything, again, that I grew up with. Yeah, if you like any of the bands that we've mentioned, I'm not going to name them again because Nick's already named them all, but yeah, if you like those bands, you're probably going to like this band. I would definitely recommend checking this record out.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They're only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we will get back to. We just got to find a time to do it. We'll talk amongst ourselves, not right now, but we will figure out a time to actually do one, because we definitely owe you one.
Yes, we 100% owe you one, and I promise that it will happen. We will find the time. We're kind of getting better at that.
Either way, memberships are the main way to support the channel, and there is a join button down there for you to castrate, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure it had balls, but, you know, you could always check. I don't know. Like, maybe it's under the join button. I don't know. Hit the join button. Join up. Just don't be weird about it.
Yeah, why would you be? Yeah. Duh.
Just look for his balls, all right?
Right. Just look for the join balls. And even if you don't hit the join button, that's cool. We do non-members only live streams, which are equally as stupid, I promise. Beyond that, we have discography rankings, which we definitely want to get down to, especially since we've all read about Thomas Lindbergh and his unfortunate bout of cancer. So we definitely want to get that out and rolling anyway. We think it's a great time to talk about it, obviously. Beyond that, though, we have Nick's never-ending collection updates, States of Metal, Is It Metal, Is It Not Metal, tons and tons and tons of metal forums. We do all metal all the time. We do it for you guys, of course, because we appreciate you. Thank you to all of our subscribers. Thank you to all of our non-subscribers, to everybody that helps make this channel a whole lot more special than 2 dickheads in a basement talking about music. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Back of the short bus special. That's how we roll. But no, seriously, you guys are absolutely awesome. Tons of content coming your way. So one more big thank you, because you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
And we will catch you later.